Welcome back to October spooky type games. I just finished playing Chapter 1 of Bendy and the Ink Machine, and now I'm moving on to Home, a unique horror adventure by Benjamin Rivers. Here we go. Your game will be saved automatically at certain points. However, we recommend that you put aside an hour and a half and complete Home in a single sitting. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't think it's gonna take that long for me. I have played this game before, but I know it does have a lot of replayability, and I haven't played it in like 3 years. I don't know, 2-3 years, however long it's been out. Alright. Recommendations: turn up the sound and turn off the lights. Well, I ain't doing that. All I remembered at that point was finding myself alone. Oh, my head, where was I? It was so dark. Uh-huh. There was something by my feet. A flashlight. Uh-huh. Alright, so using the arrow keys for this one. Opening the door. That house. Where was I? Oh shit. Dead body right off the bat. I forget. There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? Oh, bye kitty. That was loud. I don't need to turn up the volume. It's pretty loud as it is. Let's go through this door. Whoops. Can't interact with those. The desk had a computer and some papers on it, and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but did I open the drawer? Yes or no? Yeah. Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo looked like a store of some kind. Why did this look so familiar? Do you need to turn it down a bit? Let's see. Whoa, Jesus fucking Christ, that's loud. And it doesn't seem I can... This is just like Undertale, I swear to God. I can't change the volume. So hopefully that's a little bit better. Ooh, blood. Blood on the wall. It seems fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man, I had to get out of here. Or there. Whatever. So this game's a little bit interesting in the fact that you can tell it what... There's points where you can tell the game what you want to happen. Like, say if I run across another dead body, and like, I think there was some instances where it was like, or it looked like it was a dead body, and the game asked me, did you find a body? And I said yes, and I'm like, oh, I found a body. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I get hurt? How did I hurt my leg? I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. What's that? A thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic but exhausted. Did you free it? Sure. Bye-bye, mouse. I did good today. A collection of rusty tools. These looked like they'd seen a lot of use and were caked in damp-smelling dirt. Why weren't they in the shed? Because someone wanted to bury us? I found a picture of a couple. It looked like it'd been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I push the switch? Yeah. It depressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. Whoa. Wow. I just don't know what the fuck it would have triggered. See what's that one over here. Oh, whoops. The shelf was full of books on local history and hunting. Seems like the owner of the house really knew the area. Ooh, serial killer lunch. Freaky floorboards. An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. Okay. The smell was turning my stomach. Alright? What's that? A black and white photo looked like the man upstairs and his wife, I guessed. There was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? Let's not leave too much evidence that we were here. I figured there was no help to me, so I left it behind. I don't want to give him a little too much evidence that I was here. I know I pressed that switch, but he could have, like, just forgotten to put back the thing. I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. Did I do the murder? The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Alright. Wasn't here. The bathroom was incredibly clean. Every surface had been thoroughly wiped, and nothing seemed out of place. We're totally in the house of a serial killer. All the signs are here. There was a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they were pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like treetops. Right? Ross says that mouse is going to come back and kill you. I highly doubt that. Ooh. That was loud. Didn't like that much. The door is taped up and seemed to be stuck. By the smell, I guessed it led to the kitchen. The switch in the wall appeared to have unlocked the door. Hey! The door that probably just closed. We're so smart. Oh. Okay. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Hi, babe.
Hi, are you afraid?
No, I finished Bendy and the Ink Machine. I called the jump scare that was going on.
There was no jump scare, you're just paranoid.
And now I'm playing home.
You're playing home?
Yes.
I'm looking for a shirt to wear on this recording of the low budgets.
Oh.
Somebody asked me, and I imagine they're still watching.
Yeah.
But if they are, someone was asking when I'm going to upload the low budgets. And the best answer I have is soon.
Maybe I had found a way out. I must have moved it, right? Yeah, I moved the box. I heaved the box forward and it finally gave. Alright, let's go downstairs. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? It's the only way out that I've seen. My leg hurt like hell as I climbed down that ladder. The tunnel below was even darker and the smell wasn't getting any better. But I had to get out of there and find my way home. Hey. Ooh, what's that? Footprints in the dirt looked more like one kind and a lot of traffic. Okay, more than one serial killer? Places all over were marked on an old map of the town, and the industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. Right? Newspaper clippings from local paper. They were all about murders in town over the last few years. Wait. There were photos. Photos of our house! What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. Ooh, looks like we were next in line for getting moited. A work table covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun. I hated guns. I didn't take it, did I? Oh, yeah, I took it. Took it. I tucked the small handgun into my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring. Why wouldn't you take it? You're in the house of a serial killer. It was so dark down there, and all the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? The desk looked old and was caked in grime. On it was a stack of old, faded paper covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out. Illegible notes were written beside them in faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. He, I, E, L, R. These are probably names of people they've killed. None of it made any sense to me. Alright, let's say... Another ladder? Is that a ladder? Ugh. Crudely made shelves, they looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I couldn't see the warnings. Oh, I could still see the warnings. Alright, that's another ladder. Definitely, it looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom, something wet. Probably blood. Oh, that's interesting. The character's making a limping sound. I didn't notice that before. Oh, is that a skeleton? There looked to be bones half dug into the ground, and the remains looked old. Who put them here? Right. What's this? Some kind of homemade rack, slung together with poorly cut wood and rope, and it was caked with old blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? Probably. Let's go down here. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing here? What? My old clothes? Bats? Bats. Yeah, there they are. Hi, bats. I remember noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. Can't really jump. Oh, I can actually... Hi! Bye! Okay. I don't think I can actually jump. I don't remember if I jumped down there or found another way. It looked to be a long way. Did I jump down? No. Maybe there was some other way to get down there without risking any more injury to my leg. There was people whispering. And I see a skeleton right in the periphery of my vision. There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Sure. Maybe the rope would make that broken ladder easier to descend. Alright, so there's like a skeleton stuck in the wall. Cool. Nifty. Okay, now I can go down here. The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb down? Yes. I could hear a faint hum, and the smell from before started to get worse. That dank smell. That dank cave smell. A bunch of old newspaper wheat pasted together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out, danger due to cave-in. Oh, this is wonderful. Yet they still installed like doors inside of here. I could still feel a faint impression of the rope that I had slid down as I pressed against the heavy metal door. What does that mean? It was probably for the best that I hadn't jumped. The ache in my leg was bad enough as it was. If I could have, though, I would have run straight out of those awful tunnels. Who would keep such a place? At least, I thought, I had found an old handgun. It seemed to work, and from the smell of it, it had been used already. I kept the gun in my pocket. It seemed a familiar weight there. Did I do the moitas? Did I do the moitas? There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. Alright, so someone's been here recently. I could hear a faint trickling sound, like water. What was that? Ooh, an exit. Don't mind if I fucking do. There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water, which smelled disgusting. I knew that I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. Alright, okay. What's this? A kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I couldn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? Yeah, sure. I slipped a knife in my boot since I had the gun in my pocket. Did I really need all this? Oh, yeah? You're in the weird cavey basement of a serial killer. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. Okay. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yeah. Yeah, boy! Now I can probably get down that ladder from over there. What else is it over there? Oh! I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Sure, let's just turn them all off. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut it off. Yeah. Hell yeah, let's just do all of these motherfuckers. Is that footsteps? Nah, it seems a little too big for footsteps. It's probably a machine somewhere. Now I should be able to go down that ladder, eh? Where the fuck was it? Hi, Jefford.
Oh, did you die?
There's still water here. Damn it.
Are you busy?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say bye.
Okay, bye. I'm trying to escape from a serial killer's basement.
Well, have fun.
Yeah. This is where I came from.
It's just another Friday night for Sarah.
See you later.
Alright, bye. Alright, so, I guess there might be a pattern to how I have to turn off the flow. Let's see, 1, 2, okay, let's see, let's go into 1 again. With the dust, I can see handprints from previous use, probably from whoever worked these sewers. Did I check that before? I thought I checked it before. Alright, so 1. Alright, there's like a symbol next to it, but I don't know if that has anything to do with... I don't know if all of them have the same symbol next to them. Yeah, they do. Did I get all of them? I thought I got all. Yeah, I got all of these. Alright. But it doesn't seem... Oh wait. Okay, some of these are a little bit different. I thought I could turn this. What about the shut off its flow? Did I turn it? Yeah, let's turn it one more time. Can I turn this one more time as well? Oh, looked like I turned off the water flow. Okay, cool. Alright, so those are off. Yes, babe?
Hi! I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm trying to find my wallet.
Okay. Alright, now these are turned off.
Judy Hop stole my wallet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem very police womanish of her.
Well, she took all my money.
Again, that doesn't seem like something she would do.
I gave it to her.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yep.
Alright.
Bye.
God damn it! Alright, I'm gonna turn 2. And so... Still active. Did I turn... Ooh! That pisses me off. Well, it's still active. Did I turn it again? Yeah. Stupid. Motherfucking stupid puzzle. I hate that. I hate that so much. Where the answer is just that you just spam click it over and over. You still have to do it more. You have to turn it more. Alright, yeah. Is 1 closed? Looked like I turned off the water flow on this valve. Good. How much more do I have to turn 2 and 3? Looks like I turned off the water flow in this valve. Alright. Thought I could turn... God damn it. Still active. Did I turn again? Yeah, fucking turn it. Still active. Looked like I turned off the water flow in this valve. Alright. Are you off? Yes. Jesus. Alright, so it should be good. Should be good. Stupid. Just check it again. Thank you. Looked like the water drained out of that grate in the wall. There was a small metal key left floating in the shallow pool of rancid water. Did I take it? Yeah. I pocketed the small key, but it was so odd-shaped I had no idea what it might open. We'll figure it out. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? Door was locked. I could see a faint light within. Right. Up the ladder. In the door. Ooh. Oh, that's the body. I found another dead body, the sewer worker. By the wounds all over his face and body, I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key ring sticking out of the man's pocket. Did I take it? Yeah, man. I thought about the knife I had found with some disgust as I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. I was almost worried he was going to grab me. So, it's probably not good that we're keeping all the stuff that has most likely been used in moiters. I could smell a hint of fresh air here. I was anxious to leave, but I couldn't help wonder what the key unlocked. I don't give a shit. I just want to get out of here so I can live. The awkward weight of the gun and the knife made the climb even more arduous. Would I need that gun or that knife on my way home, or was I a fool for picking them up? I wondered what was in that locked room I had passed. Should I have gone back to check? Perhaps it didn't matter. I was so eager to escape, I almost bruised my hand, forcing the latch at the top of the ladder to open. As I lifted the heavy lid above me frantically, the smell of that sewer gave way to the dank scent of pine trees. Whoever wrote this game really liked the word dank. The dank scent of pine trees. The dank scent of cave. Alright, so I cannot go back. That's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. Alright, there's a door that way. Let's see. Ooh, there was eyeballs. I just saw eyeballs. There they are. Right there. Shining in my light. Nice, that's neat. Oh, there's more. Oh. Oh, the lid had fallen on the entrance there and was stuck shut. Okay, that's where I came out. Alright, cool. So let's just go through this door. Don't know why we can't just try and climb. I guess our leg's fucked up, but we can't climb that fence. Ooh, a lot of eyeballs. Tried the little key I had fished out of the murky puddle in the sewers. It fit, and I heaved open the rusty door. Woo! The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had become strangely chilly. Yeah, there's a lot of eyeballs. Not sure I like the amount of eyeballs that are watching. Okay. The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure. Okay, let's just go in here. Okay, lots of chairs knocked over. The ancient ticket booth was falling apart and covered in dust and grime. Stacks of paper lined the counter, faded remains of old schedules and reports. Among the paper were newer-looking sheets covered in scribbles and illegible notes. Come to think of it, the man in that house had kept similar scribbles hidden on his bookshelf, and he had notes on the water tower outside too. I guessed he could have been coming here, but why? What was he using this old station for? To murder people, maybe? Just a thought. You've already seen 2 dead bodies. What was he using this place for? This abandoned place that probably nobody ever comes to. This abandoned, really good place to murder people place. An old map is encased in glass hung on the wall. It was train routes connected to that old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course, the map I found in those tunnels at similar locations marked. And the notes I found on the other man's bookshelf, his notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing coming back here? Shipping dead bodies? Oh, get back outside. Oh, I guess this is probably the only way to go. Yep, okay. Sure. Let's go back outside. What the fuck is that? The old train was ripped open, and hanging from a shred of metal, as well as a broken fence, was a dark stained patch of cloth. It looked synthetic, like some kind of outerwear. Inside the train shell I could see a few faint impacts, like wounds. Could they have been bullet marks? Was somebody shot there? The ground was well worn, though I couldn't really make anything out. I realized I was touching the gun I had found as I thought. Okay, so decrepit old train, can I go in? It was getting colder out there and I had to keep moving. Alright. Is there another way for me to go in here? Yes, we'll find out. Pretty sure I came through this big door that's right here. But let me see if there's another way to go. Oh, yeah. Love those gate sounds. Pretty creepy game. Pretty samey. Could have at least changed it up a little bit. This must have been that entrance to the forest that was mentioned on that map I'd seen. Whoever was poking around in these tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled notes in this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here, the sign pointed out various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. Okay. Oh. Just climb through the bushes, why don't you? That seems safe. Through the fence I could see a dilapidated building. I wonder if I could find my way around. Okay. Let's just not take any of the trails and just go through the bushes like any sane person would. Ooh, I hear rustling of leaves. Oh, what's that? There were some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait, there was a notebook there too. Did I read it? Yeah! Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was page after worn page of names and lists. None of it made much sense. The news page contained several names. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. Rachel! Her name was the last on the list, and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. I think Rachel was the name of our wife. Cheryl and Heather and Rose had also been crossed out, but these marks looked older and more faded. Uh-oh, our wife's probably dead! Hooray! A few embers still burned within the fire pit. Who was camping here? Was it... Who else was out there in these woods? Okay. There was a cheap two-person tent. Through the screen on the front, I could see 2 sleeping bags, backpacks, and a small cooler. Okay. Let's go through these bushes. Ooh. No, 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 no. Don't. Something. Can't read what that says. No, no. Okay. Let's go in. Why not? The writing says no, but my mind says yes. The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. Okay. What's that? A musty wooden plank propped up the stall door. It didn't really seem useful. Did I bother to take it? Yeah, let's just take all the stuff. I wasn't sure why, but I took the plank. It's gotta be useful at some point. Okay, well, that's it for this room, I guess. Let's go back out in the woods, or... no, okay. That was the other side that I came upon. Let's go here. This is a bit of a maze. Oh, goddamn. Okay. Which one have I got to go to? This one. This goes back to camp. Let's go through here. Okay, I was back to here. Go back to the camp. Take this path. Is different? Oops, nope. I went back to the other side of the fence. Okay, so 1, 2. Is that it? What's that? Let's do this one again. Then... Oh, not this one. Okay. This is fun. I don't see anything that would immediately help me with that plank. Nope. The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. It must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. Cool. Yeah. I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Alright. Through the dense trees, I could finally start to see some light. I must have been at the edge of the forest, though I wasn't sure where the path ahead of me would lead. Jesus. I could almost feel the cryptic notebook in my pocket as I tried to think about what it could mean. And where were these campers who had abandoned their site? Would I meet them too? Though the path ahead of me was less dense, I still felt guarded and wary. Who knew what was ahead? That's my foot sounds. Okay. Seems like it's about to turn morning. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it's just the wind. Just keep moving, man. Ooh. Go in the door or go through the fence? Let's go through the door. Well, that was a different sound. Ooh. So was that. One of the lockers hung open, and its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. Cool. I don't know why I'm in here. There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking into other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected in the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. The door is locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box beside it. The door was locked. Electronic box under the handle. A sign was pasted to the front that said, "Danger, closed for repairs." Yeah, let's go upstairs. Why not? Every part of this plant smelled and rotted. Old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. Ross, I found my way out of the woods area, and now I'm like in this electrical company area. I could have, I went into the building instead of going through a big hole in the fence, so I'm just kind of exploring this. It might be optional stuff. The board contained yellow clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. My power panel looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Why not? Oh, do I need to push it again? The power panel still wasn't working. Oh, I gotta press it again. I know how this game works now. You just gotta keep checking things. The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out, and the face was unrecognizable. Alright. Cool. Another power box. My power panel looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Okay, that one seemed on. Panel seemed to be working again. It was shut tight. There was a rusty-looking card slide on the side. Old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. Did I used to work here? Kind of seems like I used to work here. I don't know why else I would be so sentimental about it. This was Norman's locker. The door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember doing that when we worked here. Yeah, we worked here. Oh. Another panel that I hoped to help me get the power back on. Did I push the switch? Which thing? That seems to be going good. Utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take the Yeah! As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. Yeah, let's just shoot. I don't know where this guy's keeping all this stuff. He's got a knife, he's got a gun, he's got a hammer, and now he's got like a big plank of wood. I don't know where he's shoving it. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom there was a magnetic card. Yeah, take it. I slipped the key card in my pocket. Good. Another panel that I hope to help get power back on. Oh, you gotta press it again. Uh-oh. You gotta press it again. There. Another panel. Blah, 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 blah. Yep. Alright, that's good. Okay, cool. Hearing mechanical noises, so I'm assuming the power's back on. Alright, where was that door that I could find my key card that I just found? Was this it? Oh wait, no, I just came out of that fucking box. More mysterious sounds. I struck it with the hammer. The old wooden boards came apart easily. After I had removed the planks, I left the hammer on the floor. Okay. Probably not very smart, but I guess you do have a gun and a knife. This was my locker. There in the factory, it stank of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. It looked like I had been torn up. I thought I had taken that picture home when the factory closed. Did I do the moida? The floor was littered with old liquor bottles. I wondered if that man in the house had something to do with this. He sure had a lot of alcohol at his place. Okay, that seems to be it. Alright, where was that door with the key card? Is it this one? The keycard I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Did I use the keycard? Yeah. I slid the card through the gold reader and turned the handle. Ooh, I did it. Ooh, trap door, eh? There was some kind of ventilation hatch here. It looked like I could jump to the bottom, to the room below. I liked it enough as it was, and I couldn't see another option. Did I jump? No. I was too chicken to jump down that broken ladder before. Why do it now? There had to be another way. I feel like... Oh, shit. Fuck! I should have gone to that door downstairs that was powered by all the stuff that I just turned on. Now I'm gonna fuck up my leg. There was some kind of ventilation here. Yep. Oh man, my leg hurt like hell. Shit. Maybe I didn't have a choice. That room at the top of the plant, the one with all the bottles, it was really getting to me. Maybe I was just distracted. We went up there and used that room. As I exited the factory, I didn't recognize where I was going. My head ached terribly and my leg was a mess. A dank mess. Oh, I hear footsteps behind me. I hear you back there. Bye-bye. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. Okay. Coolios. I had entered Norman's place. It was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet, except for a faint sound of a television. Okay. Just gonna break into Norman's store. Or his house. The entrance to the front of the store was locked from inside. Looked like I couldn't just pop it open. I needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. Well, let's just probably leave. Something was moving. There's blood. Is it the static of the TV? Sure seems like it. The TV still flickered some indescribable channel. Uh-oh. Is this Norman? Oh no, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my coworker, one of the few friends I had in this town, lay dead behind or beside his armchair. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been shot trying to get up. His eyes were still wide with shock. Norman, you deserved better than this. Did I close his eyes? Sure. I wasn't sure if I wanted to just give him peace or if I just couldn't stand thinking more about what was going on. Quickly, I closed Norman's eyes. Real shit. Our best buddy is dead. I guess it was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups in the wood. Alright. Trash? The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I? Sure! I've had a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and pocketed it. Well, I bet that will open the door. Rosfit says, Norman, no! I cared so much about you! Yeah, let's go downstairs. I used a hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. The general store was small, but it was clean, and I had usual things, postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. Oh, I was planning on robbing this place, wasn't I? I was like, oh, let's just check the register. Maybe I'll find some clues. Take some cash while I'm at it. The icebox seems to be unplugged. It seemed to have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. Alright. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be much better shape then. Well, yeah, because it was brand new then. What had I seen? Norman was dead, but I had no idea why. I didn't know how he could be involved in all this, but the thought of him lying on the floor up there was sickening. The only comfort I had was a gun I still carried, but was it really a comfort or a curse? The rain was coming down hard, but at least I was close to home. It wouldn't be long before I got my answers. It was locked. This wasn't the right gate. Alright? The gate was locked tight. It wasn't my house. Alright. I guess this one's my house. Man, we have a huge dumpster, like... Oh, wait. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. Alright, but... Why did a gate lead to another, like, series of gates? The neighborhood's local post box. The letter was sticking out of it, as someone didn't push it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I take a look at the letter? Yeah. There was no return address, but the envelope was addressed to Norman. Carefully, I tore it open and looked at the letter inside. It read, "Stay away, she's mine." That was it. No signature, no other information. Did I do the murder? Did Norman, like, mack on my wife, and I killed him, and then I killed my wife, and I don't remember it? I had the wrong gate. This one was locked. I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. Shh. Music's getting intense. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or sometime before? You totally didn't know you did. Door to the basement. It was locked. Where had I put the damned key? My easy boy! My lazy boy's been toppled over. Oh no! The front door was locked from inside. I couldn't go out, though. I needed to see if Rachel was here. Okay? Ooh, we got a 3-story house? Shit, we're rich. Our television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterwards, but then it was too late. Rachel! You home? The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. Why the fuck am I losing all the keys all of a sudden to my house? Why don't I have all this stuff? This is my house. The books here were half mine, half Rachel's. They now look... Hey, now that I looked more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books as I did. There was a suitcase on the bed. It was Rachel's. I remembered it from that trip we took out west. Did I open the suitcase? Yeah. I wasn't sure what to make of the suitcase contents. Inside were a few days' worth of clothes, some toiletries, and a train ticket. Where was she planning to go? She was gonna leave me, and I probably murdered her. Oh. Our hallway mirror had been smashed, its pieces scattered around the floor. Our sink, which needed to be replaced, was one of the traps always stuck, but I hadn't got around to fixing it yet. That's useless information. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. Okay, seem pretty proud of that. I really don't see how that's any special at all. Rachel! Rachel! My laptop had been left on. The only tiny bit of power left on the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key on the top of the door of my desk. I take it. I pocketed the key. Alright, that's either gonna open the basement or that other door that was somewhere. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned key holder. There's a handle. Alright, well, I don't care. I'm just gonna open the basement. I feel like that's where our wife's gonna be dead. I unlocked the basement door. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. Okay. The garbage bags were stuck with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take it? Oh, I took the small key and tried to remember what I unlocked. Let's go back. Let's see what it does. The grimy key I had found in the basement unlocked the door. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? Robs. Ooh, there was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need to take the crowbar? Sure, let's just take everything, man. I looked at the heavy crowbar and appreciated its weight. You really appreciate all of these weapons that you're picking up. I mean, I guess they might make you feel safer, but it's also kind of creepy. Alright, back to the basement. Is it this? Yes. There were old clothes, tools, and other things obviously hadn't thrown out yet. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? Yeah, I believe I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. Why did I mess up my own basement? As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down here? Was she okay? Why do I have a secret compartment in my basement? Weird noises happening. Don't look, says the wall. I'ma look. A filthy-looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful. It made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I had come this far, after all this searching, after all I had seen. When I looked within the rags, did I finally see my Rachel? Yes or no? So I remember this part in the game. And I believe the first time I played, I said yes. So I think this time I'm going to say no. The rags were wet and matted, covered in dirt and grime. But inside that tattered mess was no sign of my beloved wife. Rachel wasn't there. I'd looked around in confusion, trying to figure out what to do next. If she wasn't there, where was she? What had I been searching for this entire time? I remembered the look on Rachel's face when I came home, didn't I? Then the awful realization hit me right in the gut. I had been looking at this the wrong way, hadn't I? This is what you've been trying to tell me all along, isn't it? I couldn't find Rachel there, and I won't find her anywhere else, because she was never there at all, was she? I stumbled back upstairs, the pain in my leg just a dull ache now, and sat down in my bedroom. My mind was spinning, and the ache I felt before was near crippling. Finally, I could no longer fight the exhaustion, and as I tried to grab a hold of something that would make sense of all this, I must have drifted off. I feel like the game ended for me when I said I found Rachel there. I guess these books were all actually mine then. This is neat. The shards of that broken mirror, I could see my face, gaunt and hollow, and sickly, and immensely troubled. What other illusions had I dreamed out? Whoa, what other truths were waiting to be exposed? Can I go back down to the basement? I used to tell myself that Rachel was the one that wanted to keep the tub. I'm a deranged man! In the dirty fake glass, I looked like nothing more than a faint shadow. Let's see, let me guess. Norman's wife was Rachel, and I wanted Rachel for my own. And I was obsessive about it. It was a key card I found in the factory, that one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? Yeah, it must have been him. He must have been using the old locker room. The laptop had finally run out of power. Okay. So what now? Do I go back to the basement? This was the letter I had taken from the postbox. It had gotten a bit wet in the rain. Somebody had obviously had it out for Norman, but who? Oh, maybe me! Oh no, Norman. If I was wrong about Rachel, then what about him? Did I kill him? Yeah, I totally did. I must have, but why? Did we fight, or was I tricked into thinking he was sneaking around with Rachel? Damn it! What was happening to me? I had that old TV for so long, I don't know how I could ever replace it. Now I've got an old TV instead of my new TV that I just bought? Interesting. This is neat. That totes killed Norman. And that probably totes killed... I wasn't going to leave, I had to at least get some answers first. Alright. Back to the basement then. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I couldn't go back down, not until I'd gone over everything. I needed to make sure I was perfectly clear. Ugh. Do I pick like all the shit in this house, or do I leave? How many breakfasts had I eaten here completely alone? I must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard anyway. Alright, I gotta check everything. Oh, alright. That's fun. That's totally fun. Okay, yeah. Alright, first floor, I don't need to do anything. Oh, safe. My old office safe sat on the floor. It used a digital passcode lock. Did I try to open it? The safe used an 8-digit code. What was that damn code again? Does Rachel have 8 words in it? Rachel. I did see. Oh, that has 6. That wasn't it. Damn, I couldn't remember. Alright, I probably could find it. What's that? 8 names written alongside these odd marks. Oh, 8 names, hey? With odd marks in different colors were printed at the notebook. Alright, let me just write down the first letter of all these names. Heather, H-O-A-C. D-H-R. These are all the names of the women that I've killed. I recalled the names I saw scratched out that on that desk, deep within those musty tunnels. Was the man in that house really up to something? No, I think I was up to something. My old office safe. Alright. H-O-A-C-I-D-H-R. Oh, that wasn't it. Oh, shit, I thought I was being clever. I thought I was being smart. Fuck. Norman, you poor bastard. Okay. It was a piece of junk, but I couldn't really afford anything newer. Oh shit, do I have... okay, so there's nothing new after that. Alright. Norman, you poor bastard. Norman's also 6 letters. That won't work. My head was pounding. Okay. Alright. Let's look for that. Had this mirror been broken by a struggle or someone, or by some other way? Okay. That'll be it for that. Just really doing a good search, so I don't have to... There was only one set of toiletries by the sink. Okay. When was the last time I showered? I smelled awful. Okay. Okay. Yep. Checked all that. That's all good. I had made up my mind. How long had I been left running? But I thought it was off. Oh, yes it is off. Okay. Shit. I was sure that those 8 names were it. I have to get in the safe. Where was the safe? Down here. It's in the opposite room. Hey, come on. How did he end up dead? When I came to, he was already on the floor. Okay. My old office sat in the... trying to open it. House again. I'm gonna try doing not capital letters. C-I-D. H-R. Oh, that wasn't one. Damn, I couldn't remember. Fuck. Seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. Thank you, game, for letting me know that I can go back in the basement. Maybe there wouldn't be anything for me to find, but I had to take at least a last look. Okay. If I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? What do you mean by a warm, safe place? Okay, yeah, I'll take the knife. I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. If I wanted to end it, I could do it. I could do it with that gun. Did I pick it up again? Sure. It was like carrying an anvil, but I wouldn't let it go. Not again. Alright, we'll break the wall again. The wall was cracked and pitted. I was told by an inspector, and the basement had been partially filled in before I bought the house. But by the look of that wall, I was going to need to fix the foundation. Everything smelled musty and old down there. always, alright, it seems to be where I need to go, but it won't let me. Let's go back upstairs. Can I leave the house? Can I leave the house, please? That was it. With Rachel gone, I couldn't stand to be in that house a moment longer, but I had the gun again, and that knife. This wasn't the only way to end this, I knew. But did I leave and say goodbye to that nightmare forever? Yeah. I looked again at the knife and the gun I carried. I might have been able to use one of those instead. I wonder if I can go back to it. I want to check that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, back doors. This way. I must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard anyway. Alright. Well, I guess I can leave. Sure thing. This was it. With Rachel gone, I couldn't stand in the house and This wasn't the only way to end this, I knew. But did I leave and say goodbye to that nightmare forever? Sure, I guess so. Since I had arrived in town, things had been difficult. Working in the plant, though, had been good for me. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. Drinking was probably just a way to deal with that. It was just almost as if I was trying to beat my brain at its own game. Things stopped making sense sometime after that, and my memories of what happened are still in flux. I suppose that's when Rachel came along. This night had been the worst of my entire life. Would it even be possible to bounce back from everything that had happened? Everything I'd seen? You know, in a way, I almost wish I hadn't even woken up tonight. I would have spared me a lot of pain. For starters, the man I had found in that old place. Who had killed him? And why was I even there? And what was hidden within those sewers I had found? The tunnel to the man's house obviously led there. But was there something I missed? Was I so busy worrying about Rachel that I was blind? That forest, though, was no escape either. That notebook especially left me troubled. I remember seeing a similar list on the desk back in the tunnels. Who were the girls mentioned there? I suspected there was more to the woods than I knew. I thought I had no intention of going back. It was clear, at least, that Norman had been going back to that old plant. Had he been the one to seal up that room? Was he drinking up there alone? I thought perhaps he had something to do with that dead guard, but now you've got me all mixed up. I'm not even sure what makes sense anymore. I had to catch my breath, to take it all in. At each point until the factory, things had only gotten worse. But then going to Norman's store, that's when the confusion and doubt started to set in. That's when my perspective on all this really started to change. But Norman, it was clearly I who had ended your life. Whether you were a miserable bastard and deserved it, or whether you were innocent, well, that'd be for someone else to decide. Maybe you knew the truth that only I now understand. Maybe that's why I came to you. But as painful as all that was, oh no, I couldn't bear to think about it again. After all I had seen and done, finally coming home was supposed to be the end of this entire ordeal. I had no idea, though, that it was only the beginning. When I had first stepped through the kitchen door, the silence had been unnerving. But to think I went through all of that, completely unaware of what I would discover. Had I killed Norman, thinking that he had, well, that there was something going on? Everything that I held dear and true was now spinning around me. I had nothing to ground me, nothing to give me purpose or even the faintest hope of, God, this guy should read a book, or write a book. He really talks. Oh boy. Without Rachel, without what I thought was Rachel, I was lost forever. And as the door swung open, I could smell damp grass and the closeness of the air. After everything, I felt like I had more questions than answers. You made me see the truth, I'll give you that. But now I was completely lost. You took away the only thing that had kept me going. I was sure word would get out, and soon enough the police would come looking for me. And what then? Would you be there to show me the way? What will I do then? Okay, the end. Okay. Whew, that was a pretty lengthy ending. Exposition much. Well, that was a good second playthrough. I had a bit of a different ending. The first time I played this game, like a couple of years ago, I told the game that I did find my wife, and I think it ended there, where I was just like, my character was like, shit. Home is dedicated to my wife, Nancy. Watch your back. The end. Well, that's neat. Oops. Oh, I didn't mean to play again. I meant cute. There we go. Alright, well, thank you to those who joined me this evening. I know probably numbers were kind of dwindling. I hope you enjoyed Home as well as Bendy and the Ink Machine. Next week, I will definitely be starting Oxenfree, which is another kind of creepy, spooky horror game. I've played it, but it is also a game that has replayability. So I'm excited to show that to Matt, and as well as all of you guys, because it's pretty neat. Well, on that note, I will see y'all next week. Bye-bye.